Were you shocked when Trump signed the executive order for the SBR? Because I was flabbergasted. I couldn't believe he did it so early in his term. And I went onto the website and there I am. It's like this moment. I could barely believe it's happening. I'm on like the whitehouse.gov and I'm reading it. It's like they can take the Bitcoin that they have, they're going to keep it. They can acquire more Bitcoin in a budget neutral way, and they can't sell it. But all other digital assets, they can sell them, and they're not going to acquire any more of them. I'm like, there's Samson's quote right there. All coins have natural sellers. Bitcoin has natural buyers. So were you surprised when he signed the SBR into effect?
Well, yes and no. I think for him, it was a low-hanging fruit that he could just do something and say promises made, promises kept, right? It didn't cost him anything. It was within his power to do so with executive order. And he paved the way for, non-budget neutral acquisition. And I think that's all powerful stuff. I think what is lacking now, and many Bitcoiners are seeing this, is execution on that front. Like, where is the audit of Fort Knox? Where is the tally of all the Bitcoin held by the government? And I think we're still waiting for that. And where is the next phase in the SBR? Like, when are you going to put up a website and accumulate? So I think you know we should all be holding them accountable, but we should also be fair in understanding that governments are not exactly the most efficient, well-oiled machines out there. So maybe they'll get to it. And I'm more of a glass half full kind of guy. So I think they'll get to it, but we'll see. But I'm hopeful that they do execute on the SPR. But to answer your question, I think it's kind of expected. It was low-hanging fruit enough that he could do that, get a PR win, and get his donors happy. And then the rest is up to, David Sachs and everyone else to execute on that.
Yeah, I'm also a glass half full kind of individual. I try not to spend time going down a doom loop mentally. At the very least, it doesn't feel as good as being optimistic.
Well, it's also a tool. So for Gen3, we like to work on nation state adoption. So we can go to other countries and say, hey, look at the SVR. And they're not going to ask, like, did they do anything? And we're not
Yeah.
going to tell them that, but we'll say, he did that. So why don't you do that too? And if you get enough people doing that, passing legislation, creating things like a framework for an SVR, eventually one of them is going to execute on that.
Yeah. Is it possible that the United States government is acquiring Bitcoin quietly? Because you'd think there'd be an incentive to do so. If they announce a purchase, there's that Omega candle.
I don't think it's possible. It's hard for any government to do stuff in secret. Well, things that are beneficial for the country, it's hard for them to do it
Yeah.
in secret. Other things, yeah, it's much easier. Like you could do a lot of things in secret, but for something like Bitcoin, like an asset, it would be like saying, can you buy gold in secret? It's probably hard. You need to, because it's part of the financial system and you have to be all above board, right? Like, where did you buy from? How is it custodied? There's a ton of questions that have to be answered. Like, it can't just be Trump directing someone in some agency to buy and send it to his Blockstream Jade wallet on his desk, right? There's got to be more controls and process in place for something like that. So I think it's really hard for a country to sneakily buy Bitcoin, even though they should. But I think it's hard, just like it's hard for them to get to the point where they can't even buy, right? Like the city of Vancouver, Mayor Ken Sim has said that he wants the city to buy Bitcoin for its treasury, for its reserves. But he's said like there's 2 years of red tape he's got to go through to even get to that point. So, it, yeah, the answer is they could do it in theory, but in reality, they probably need to go through and cross the T's and dot the I's before they can really buy Bitcoin.
Yeah, that makes sense. I have a strong suspicion that that's what they're doing. If I look back, Jason Lowry writes his book, it gets pulled, he goes silent. You got this group of people around Trump that are all pro Bitcoin. I have a buddy of mine who says that I give these powerful elites too much credit, but I like to think like, look, if an 80 IQ pleb farmer like me can figure this out, so can all of these powerful individuals.